Well, the sweatiest objective probably in history has arrived, and it is indeed win 30 of 36 games to get Mycon. It's just spaced out over like a 12-day period, but it is, yes, 30 and 6 you need to go to get Mycon. And we'll talk about that because the rewards are really ridiculous for this league here, the league, quote unquote, that it's called. And there was controversy around that, though, because of the fact that it's very hard, and we'll talk about that. If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. There will be a link in the description down below. They are the cheapest and the safest option. You could use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. Also, we have like all the heroes for Team 2 leaked already, which I don't know how, but we do. EVOs are going ridiculous right now. I can't even show you the 99 dribbling one because my Nkunku right now looks like this. I decided to do the Nkunku, who will get 4-star weak foot with my other EVO. I think like 93 shooting and 84 passing, I want to say as well. So, I mean, it's an insane card, and I picked Nkunku because of the play styles. He has finesse, base, and incisive. Prem links, can play cam. Kind of made the most sense there. But I want to talk about today why I think EA are giving us crazy EVOs, because you know, it is kind of strange that we are seeing so many and so many great ones as well. And we obviously know EA don't do many things to just be nice to us. So it's like, okay, why are they releasing these types of EVOs? And that's kind of the question that I want to discuss with you guys today. And also, I will open an icon pick for the end of this video. We do have Team of the Year icons in here now, which was a leak a couple days ago, but now it is here. And we didn't talk about it on my channel because I've been gone for 2 days. So if you are back here and watching, thank you so much for joining me again. I was gone for a couple days. I've had ridiculous computer problems for like 3 weeks now. Every time I fix something just goes wrong again. So I've been dealing with that as well. And thank you for your patience if you've been waiting for certain videos or whatever. And we got a couple other bits of news to talk about too. So we'll get into all that. Let's just begin with like content as a whole for the Fantasy FC promo right now. It's been pretty good. You know, we got Guti, Joao Felix, Ruud Hullet, like some good SPCs in here. The EVOs have really been where it's shined so far though, of course, because they've been so ridiculous. But yeah, we'll start with the Fantasy FC League because it dropped today, so it was on people's minds, and it was quite controversial. As we know, it's very difficult, right? You have to win 30 out of 36 games. But if you scroll through here, the rewards are obviously pretty damn good, right? For every 2 wins, you get rewards for it, and they're pretty good packs on almost every single win 2 objective, and the Odegaard card is also very good too. And EA actually mentioned this, I believe, when they said this came out today. EA, I believe, said in their little text box that pops up when you load up content, I think it said in there that it's like supposed to be exclusive rewards, super high competition, right? So that's their goal behind this. Like, make it very difficult to do, make a more exclusive card that is obviously like almost nobody's gonna have this card. 30 wins out of 36 games. I get 13 wins a weekend league on average, I would say, and I myself am like, I'm probably not getting this card. Like, I'm just probably not going to. So you're talking people who could viably get him. They're like rank 1 players, right? And the thing is, like, I actually don't mind that. I don't personally hate, and I think most people actually don't hate the idea of this. Like, make a cup that's really, really sweaty, and once in a while drop crazy rewards for it, make it highly competitive. I think that in a vacuum isn't even like the worst idea, because you also get an 88 by 5, sorry, by the way. If you happen to win 30, you also get an 88 by 5 along with Mycon. So crazy rewards in there. I think that part isn't like that bad. I really don't think so. I think what the problem is that the whole goddamn game is this. The whole game is Fantasy FC League. This is just another weekend league, basically. So if they did this and change this kind of stuff up, like, and replace this with champs, or sorry, replace champs with something like this, where every weekend you would try and get a different card. And not to say that's the best idea either. Just trying to think of ways where you could have it so that you want to give exclusive rewards out, but also not have every mode in the game already be that. That's the problem with the Fantasy FC League, is that champs is the same way. 15 game match limit, and you get the rewards based on those 15 game match limit. Division Rivals, no match limit. However, you have to climb a ladder to go up, and however high you climb on that ladder is what your rewards are. So it's a competitive game mode there too. So you really have just this Fantasy FC League is basically just like, hey, you want more sweat? Here you go. So the idea of this, I think, is just fine to me. I think the problem is just you have the game mode set up in a way where that's all this is. Every FIFA game is the Fantasy FC League, basically, and bringing back match limits, I don't like that. How you can't grind through all this whenever you want to. You guys know I despise match limits on friendlies. I think it's the dumbest thing in the world, but of course, let me know what you guys think about it, really, and get your squads up for that. There were some cards today that just flew on the market. I think Mia Hamm went to about 2 mil today. What did this winter wildcard Mia Hamm go to? Oh no, she's actually not up as much as I thought she was. She was up at like 1.2 earlier today, now 1.7, you could say. A lot of those 89 and below cards went through the roof today. So yeah, it's hard to blame some people for not really caring too much about the cup when they know they can't get wins in it, and it's just like all the other game modes anyway that are out there. So there's some cool things about it, though. I just think the execution, it could have been done a lot better. better, honestly. But yeah, EVO's right now a very interesting story because we're getting so many great ones. Like that Nkunku card I'm about to have is crazy. I was seeing a Leao on Twitter. I'll show you guys. I'm sure most of you have seen these crazy EVOs by now, but like a 5-5 Leao with these stats. And if you go to the FUTGG trending page, you've got like a Leao there with even higher shooting, but no 99 dribbling. This Nkunku card is what I'm going to get right there. 95 pace, 93 shot, 99 dribbling. I mean, there's just some absolutely ridiculous cards on this trending EVOs page that you're wondering, like, why would EA even want players to have cards this good? You would not expect that, really. You just wouldn't expect it. And I think there's a couple of things we can kind of take from why these have been so good. And first of all, I think it's been nice for us, right? I think we can all agree that it's pretty awesome to get cards that look like this, and we can kind of choose whoever we want to make like look like that. And I think that's a great feature. It's why EVOs are so fun. I think I'm not criticizing this. I'm more so talking about, like, I wonder why we see these, right? Why is EA okay with us having these cards? I think there's a couple of things here. I think number one is that the cards themselves, specifically themselves, many of them actually have pretty low passing. And what do we all know is so important in this game? It's passing. So it's funny because they up all the stats here they make them crazy, which is awesome. But then passing stays very, very low, and they don't get many play styles as well. They kind of have whatever play styles they had on their base card, pretty much. That's kind of what they all have, whatever Evo chain you put in there. If it's like just like Jamie into that new 99 dribbling one. And you see the passing here on Isaac, for example, not very high. That's even with the passing boost, which is a pretty terrible boost, by the way. This Hoodland's one of the most popular Evos right now, right? Because he's 6'9". You can tell the play styles aren't really there, and he's 50 passing, of course. He's like the major example of this, but I think EA was somewhat okay with releasing cards that look like this because the passing and the play styles just weren't as good as like they probably would be on many promo cards. Now, why are they releasing them in the first place is the big question right now that a lot of people have. And I think this pretty much confirms to all of us that Evos are being spent and bought a lot. I think Evos are clearly a real fan favorite, and people are spending the $5, $10 to do a lot of these Evos. And I think that the Team of the Year blueprint was a real like indicator to EA of however that sold, they would do this a lot more. I think Team of the Year blueprint probably sold like crazy. It was $20 for that card, by the way, or 500,000 coins. But you would assume that if you are a player with not many coins, you'd maybe want to be more inclined to spend your real money on it. I'm sure that sold extremely well. And now here we are later on with like a much less version of that, keep in mind. But still, a lot of these Evos like that, just like Jamie and that fantasy captain combination, they're both are paid, right? I think it's like combined 15 bucks for that card. If you want to combine those two, that Nkunku card, like this one right here, that Leao card, right? I think it's like 15 bucks, I want to say. But yeah, I think that's the main reason. I think is that it's just selling really, really well, and they're draining coins in the market. They're making money off of it. I think what EA is also realizing is that Evos are probably the future for them if the government ever cracks down one day on the loot boxes like they did in Belgium, right? All it's going to take is one big government to sit here and go, hey, you know what? That might be gambling. And then they're fucked because it hasn't gone well in the stand previously for them. And all it's going to take one day is one of the major markets that they have, one of the governments of the major markets to say, oops, yeah, this is not allowed. That would obviously cut a big chunk of their profit up. And I honestly think that might take 10 years, might take 20 years, might take 1 year, but that probably is inevitable. EA know that it's probably inevitable. They won't be able to do this forever. All the store pack shit, right? I think that what they are thinking to themselves is like, hey, this is the future for us to make money off of it, or money off the game, sorry, if it happens to go haywire and like no more packs really to the same level. What we can do is do this, where a card can look like this with 500 FC points, 700 FC points, and 600 FC points. Add all that up, it's 20 bucks, and that's one player in your team. And if you end up kind of spending 20 bucks on average per player in your team, hey, add that up. That's a lot of money people are actually spending on the game still. And Evos right now are pretty cheap, you know, 75k here, 60k here. Not cheap, but it's cheaper than 150k, 250k Evos. I think give it time, and unfortunately, just like store packs, they're going to try and differentiate the value between these two big time. You'll see 500 FC points, but then 250,000 coin Evos that it's like, hey, the card's crazy, only $5, or drop a lot of coins on it. That's the future, I think, too, to me. And this video might actually be pretty long because we have a lot to discuss still. Let's get through leaks right now. Jay Roberto is coming in Team 2. This was like the first player leak that we got of the heroes. Then we got the full hero team, and that was here. We got Jay Roberto, Farah Williams, Robbie Keane makes it in, Mario Gomez, Tim Howard, Jamie Carragher, and Litmanen all are the heroes in Team 2. Stats are just prediction here on these guys. I don't know why we have all this stuff leaked so early. I don't know. I'm assuming there's some sort of reason behind it, EA-wise, them thinking that they want to drive up marketing during certain times or drive up hype during certain times. So then we got these guys, and then I think in our last last video, we did see the other like regular player team leaks, which was this right here. We got Rashford, Rodrigo, Davies, Firmino, and Matisse Tell all make it in there. So yeah, like I said, don't know why we have these already, but we do, and these are the cards coming next week. And before we talk about EA's tweets, actually, which will hint as to what's coming up here, we do have some road to the final SBCs leaked. Axel Witzel's one of them, or an objective, I should say. He could be either one. Official stats as well, block and long ball, and it's a big dude. Like, if Axel Witzel in game, big motherfucker. So block on him is pretty good, actually. He'll maybe blocking some shots out there for you. Okay, yeah, some of these tweets, I mean, it's getting so much worse on here, guys. There's people, everyone's fighting for attention, right? What the hell is this tweet? How to get cheap meta beasts for the fantasy league. Okay, I'm interested. 82 plus combos, 85 plus doubles. You don't say. I'm stunned. Would have never guessed. Would have never thought of that. And also the Prem Player of the Month, it's probably over, you would say. 9 goals and assists for Salah, 5 goals for Beto. Wood has 5 goals and assists as well. But yeah, you'd probably expect Salah ends up winning that there. And we did also get word that Boniface and Jagrova will both be SBCs, I believe. That's also what we heard in the last couple days here, because we saw Boniface leaked, I want to say. And these stats are official, I believe, on Boniface and Jagrova if we zoom in on them. Yeah, Power Shot and Pinged is a pretty unique combo, actually. And Jagrova has Travella and Whipped, which, meh. Okay, but yeah, it was confirmed these two will be SBCs coming up sometime. But okay, on to the EA Direct Twitter account now, and they addressed once again the whole shadow patch controversy. They tweeted out an entire statement about it, basically, and let's read through it right now, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. Over the past few weeks, we've continued to see speculation that gameplay changes made through the gameplay refresh update have been reverted, changed, or shadow patched, quote unquote. To reiterate what we said in the most recent pitch notes, this is not true. Aside from the 2 minor issues from Title Update 9, which are listed in the pitch notes, there have been no title updates, live tuning, which is a big one, no live tuning apparently, or any changes of any kind to gameplay. We saw the positive reception to the gameplay refresh update across the community, and we made a conscious decision to not make impactful changes to gameplay for the time being, while continuing to monitor community feedback and internal metrics like goals, shots, and passing accuracy per game. When we do make changes, you will see them in the pitch notes or on their Trello. So that was kind of their whole statement about it. Once again, they tweeted about it. And yeah, I mean, it kind of goes with what we talked about previously when we talked about this issue. The shadow patch, even the hardcore people who say like, oh yeah, they're going to lie about this, the game's been shadow patched, even they, I think, would admit that the game at least is different than it was pre-patch, right? You go back and look at the past speed before the patch and look at the past speed now, and it's obviously entirely different. The games are ending in goal fest. Like, the game's obviously different post-patch. I think even the hardest core shadow patch person would probably have to say that. I think what their biggest gripe is that pace now feels different or back to where it was before. And there's obviously a lot of explanations that people have for that, or why that could be, or why no, that wouldn't be the case actually. I think that the main thing that it makes people think there's things like this in the game, that EA have changed something maliciously or intentionally, is that we are playing a game that does not feel the same from game to game. I mean, that's the most important piece of this still. You've heard me say it a million times, and here's the 1,000,001st time to say it here, is that the inconsistent gameplay will make things like this happen. It will make EA have to address a shadow patch that wasn't there. I don't believe the game was shadow patched, but I do know for a damn fact that sometimes the game will feel like there was some sort of change made to it because the game's different from game to game. So until EA decide to fucking fix whatever the hell's going on here, which I think is a coding problem, I think it's literally embedded into the code. However, I do think that sometimes servers can play a role in it too. Even I'm sitting here like I'm not really in the know of what's going on here either, because well, EA aren't, so how the hell would we be in the know? But I'm on like the Inception side where it's like, this is embedded in the gameplay. This happens offline as well. Until you fix that, you'll be having to tweet out more shit like this, because people who say the game's been shadow patched, they're not entirely wrong in a sense that the game feels different, because the game does feel different from game to game. You're not going crazy. The game is literally different every time you hop into a FUT Champs game. Sometimes it's the same for all 15 games. Sometimes it's different all 15 of them, and it's just not acceptable. That's not been acceptable for 10 years, and the replies are like, oh yeah, we know, but fix the servers. It's like, is it even server based? Like, we don't even know if it's just server based either. So I don't know. What do you guys think about it? It's a topic that is definitely an interesting one because there's so much that goes into it with the gameplay delay stuff. I don't think EA are lying here, but also two things can be true at once. I don't think they're lying here, and also don't trust them. Two things can be true at once. And I saw this Reddit post and I thought about it and I was like, wait, why is there no showdowns anymore? It's been nearly 3 months since the last showdown, and they're such easy content. They can occur basically every week. They could occur if they wanted them to, but I'm assuming they haven't brought them back because EA looked at their metrics and it said people were not completing them. But it's funny because you make most of them shit. There was a while there we got some showdowns. They were all pretty bad. And here are all the showdown cards. Like even for the time before these ones went like +2, they weren't that crazy. And it's funny because this happens a lot with game modes that they do or things that they do is like they make them suck and then go, well, nobody wanted them, so then we don't worry about them. So it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy of suck. And it's like, okay, well then, like with the moments game mode, just delete the thing then. You didn't even give it a fucking chance when it came out 3 years ago, and now you don't do anything with it. It's still in the game for some reason. You don't do anything with it. If you did do something with it, maybe people would care, but you never did, and you never really gave it a fair shot, and now here we are. And with showdowns, I wonder if it's like, well, no one completes them, and their back end, well, it's like, yeah, you made them kind of suck. I'm sorry, they weren't very good cards. So I don't know. Maybe that's a harsh way of looking at it, of course. It could be. There might be other reasons out there as to why, but that wouldn't surprise me as a reason we wouldn't see them, right? That would be if I had to guess if there was a legitimate reason other than like we just didn't want to. If there was an actual reason behind it, it would be they weren't completed very much. But okay, market talk, and you know, considering we have such great EVOs right now, the market has gone down a bit. A lot of really expensive cards even have dropped some. I can't believe Billing is this price, by the way. Billing being 47,000. There's no way that card isn't worth 247,000 minimum. Going to trending players here. I mean, it's EVOs. Trending players are EVOs right now, or players that can fit in the Fantasy FC Cup, right? And that's how it's been for the last 2 days. It hasn't really been cards on the market like we usually used to see. Back in the day on FUTGG or FUT been popular, it was like, I would say 75% no matter what, like the most meta and most used cards in the game. Nowadays, it's not as much like that because those cards don't really exist as much as they used to. It's all EVO teams now. The top of the top remain like the cream of the crop, and then there's the rest, and that's kind of how it is now. So really, I mean, the market itself is very interesting because how many cards actually rise and fall based off purely nothing but besides their market value? It's so much rarer than it used to be, and that's why like navigating the market now is so much different than it ever has been, and it's going to continue to be as different as ever because if we're getting this level of EVOs per week, 5, 6 a week, and they're all good, a card will fit in basically imagine a card or two in everyone's team a week getting transitioned into an EVO. That will do a huge number on the market. Now there will always be a certain demand for market cards because you can't pack everybody, right? You can't pack everybody that you want to use. However, it's just much different than it ever has been. And I think that the point of me saying all of this is that go out there and use cards you are going to have fun with. That is the most important thing. If you are, I don't know, let's just try and find somebody like an Mbappe fan. If you're a Real Madrid fan, you want to use Mbappe, you know Mbappe's gold card only goes down from here. You know that. Just go out there and buy him, enjoy your time, and just be aware you're probably not going to make any coins on him. You're probably going to lose a bunch actually on almost anybody you buy. And that's kind of the point, is just more than anything, enjoy yourself, enjoy the cards you use, pick the ones you know you're going to have fun using, and that's just what you should stick with because the market is so volatile now. I mean, it's the most volatile it has ever been and probably will continue to be this way for the entire rest of this year. And okay, let's read your comments now. We've got Armand who says 29 wins, 1 match remaining, DC. Can already see it happening to me. And this is one of the things too, is that you put such faith in your servers and like your game stability when you make match limits like this and these types of game modes. You already have such a problem with that in squad battles right now, right? There's crashing in squad battles constantly. And if you're a player that didn't happen to crash in squad battles this week, you got lucky or something like that, then you got a great chance to finish higher than you ever have in squad battles because you got a whole other game or two than the other people who didn't. So it's very odd that right now there's so many crashing problems. I have crashing problems on PC badly right now that you just make it harder on yourself and more of a stress to be like, hey, make sure there's no fuck ups here, because if people get a loss off of a server problem or a couple of them, they're not going to get certain rewards. It might discourage them, might make them go off the game, go do something else. I think EA likes to think servers are a kind of a niche problem. I don't think they are. I think they're more important than that. And Rob Futt, who cares? Forcing us to sweat a game mode sucks. We keep asking for a less sweaty mode and they just keep turning up the heat. Won't be completing. Better shit to do with my life. And yeah, that's kind of the thing where this mode would be just fine if we had other casual modes out there. And I know people have said in my comments, like, there literally can't be casual modes anymore. If you're going for any sort of rewards, they inherently can't be casual. And I think there are ways you can make things casual, like Rush, for example. If you make a Rush objective, that's 60,000 points. Some will get there very quickly and some will get there very slowly, but you still get rewards for it, and it was more casual that way. Now, of course, Rush is a bad example because like the mode itself isn't great. Obviously, we know that right now, but there's things they could do like that that's more grindy, that is casual to me. And I think that they could do that more often with other game modes here, but they're so obsessed with, of course, the, hey, get your best team because we need you to to spend FC points, and in order for you to spend FC points more consistently, you need better and better teams, and you need that Eto, you need that R9, you need that Hullet, you need those guys. And YouTube Tade says apparently he put Trickster Plus on his EVO Gravenberch, and it made him insane. He says, don't sleep on that, try it for yourself, guys. If you guys have something similar to that with Trickster Plus, because I've heard for many years that Trickster Plus, well, many years, it's been in the game for 1 year. I've heard since the beginning of last year that Trickster Plus is good with R1 dribbling, like it transitions it faster or something like that, and I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard that from many people out there. So if that's true for Trickster Plus, let me know. And if there's other things like that for other playstyles too, we're actually going to dive into that in my second channel eventually, but if there's other things like that too, then let me know in the comments as well and let us know. Okay, here's the icon pick, and low-key I wanted to do this because of the fact that this cup chemistry is kind of hard in it, considering you have to, I think, max 3 per league I think you have to have in your squad. So low-key, some lower rated icons might actually help. So that's kind of why I wanted to take the gamble, and if I miss out, well, then at least I can use it somewhere. And we get, okay, base Zico to start is actually pretty damn good. Not insane, but it's pretty damn good. Fernando Hierro, oh god. Well, he might help for the cup, I guess. What do I even do? Okay, well, I guess we're taking Zico, and hopefully fits in an Evo someday or something. I don't know. What is he, 500k maybe? Okay, I guess that's that. Thank you for being here and watching. I love you all. Super soon. Peace.